All right, we continue to track an overnight shooting. Multiple shootings that left 3 people injured. One of those people is in life-threatening condition.
Right now, we're getting a briefing from Austin Police. I believe we can see them as they are approaching the microphone. We can tell you that this is a widespread crime scene, and we do have the officer at the mic. Let's take a listen.
All right, looking good. All right, everybody good?
Yep.
All right, I'm Officer Michael Bullock, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, last of B-U-L-L-O-C-K, with the Austin Police Department Public Information Office. So today at approximately 1 a.m., officers responded to a shoot-stab hotshot call in the 1100 block of Ebert Avenue. Around that time, 911 received multiple calls reporting a house party was occurring near this location and that gunfire could be heard erupting from the party. As officers arrived on scene, we located multiple victims, at least 2 of which were transported to a local area hospital by Austin Travis County EMS after being treated by PD, EMS, and fire. And then we learned later that 1 victim had self-transported to the hospital. At this point in time, we're only aware of 3 victims specifically related to this incident, but the exact count we haven't yet determined. As officers continued to saturate the area, we received an update about a potential suspect description, and 1 officer did locate an individual that was matching that description. As the officer attempted to stop the individual, they began to evade and ultimately did get out of sight, but with the assistance of our air support unit as well as our canine officers and patrol officers, we were able to locate that suspect. At this point in time, we do have multiple people that have been detained potentially related to this incident, but as of right now, our investigation is very early on, so exactly what led up to the events tonight and exactly who all is specifically involved, we are still working to determine. But we have recovered multiple firearms as a result of this incident. So at this point in time, we are asking for anyone who has any information to please contact us either through 311 or through our Crime Stoppers number at 512-472-8477. That's 512-472-TIPS. Like I said, we do have multiple people detained at this point in time, so we do believe that we have the situation contained, so there's no ongoing threat to the public, but we are still asking for anyone who has information to reach out to us. And again, we have 3 victims confirmed thus far, but an exact count we do not have yet.
5 suspects currently in custody?
Multiple. At this point in time, I can't tell you exactly how many we have. As we talk to people, some get let go once we realize they're no longer involved, but we do have multiple individuals detained at this point in time.
Tell me about the overturned vehicle. We saw a white sedan getting shipped away. What was that?
I believe that was not yet determined whether that's related or not, but at the same time that this call came out, a crash came out related to a vehicle potentially leaving, but we haven't made the determination yet if both are involved in the same incident. But it was a crash.
Where were those firearms recovered?
They were recovered as we were saturating the area and checking multiple different properties. It was a rather large party, so as soon as the gunfire was heard, people scattered all over the neighborhood. So we recovered weapons throughout as we were locating different individuals.
When you guys were called on scene, was the party still ongoing, or had people fled after the gunshot?
People were already beginning to flee the scene by the time we arrived.
Was it at one house in particular?
I don't know if it was one house, multiple houses, or what exactly was going on. We just were getting reports of large party in the area.
And obviously, we see the convenience store behind you, but where did this all take place? Is it the block that's directly behind the convenience store?
I can tell you that the crime scene is pretty spread out. Like, we were probably spread out over about a 2 to 3 city block radius, kind of from where we're at right now going south from here. So we weren't all contained in one specific area. We were pretty spread out because of all the chaos that had occurred.
And when it comes to doing your job effectively, how much more difficult does it make it to have a crime scene that's so expansive and so spread out?
These incidents are very challenging, trying to get as many officers as we need in the area and over a large area. And as we arrive on scene, we get more information about more people potentially involved and victims at different locations. It stretches our resources thin.
And did this mainly involve folks that live in the houses? Because we had a lot of people walk by that were concerned about the homeless population and folks coming from the park and kind of instigating this.
At this point in time, I don't have any information that it was specifically related to any homeless folks in the area. I believe it was all contained to whatever was going on with the party.
Do you know if the suspected shooters were part of the party, or did they drive to the scene and then?
Yeah. That part we're not sure of. That's going to be part of what we're trying to determine, is whether or not they were here or if there was something else going on, some type of feud or anything like that that drew them here. We're not sure.
So all three victims were at one point in the hospital. You said two were transported and the third one then drove themselves.
Correct. It was a very chaotic scene when we arrived on scene, and so it appeared that one of the victims had just driven them or gotten a friend perhaps to drive them to a hospital. So we just know for sure that two were transported by EMS after APD arrived on scene, and then at some point a third victim had been located at a hospital, reported to be here as well.
And I know you said you couldn't confirm how many suspects were in custody, but can you confirm there were at least 5 of them?
All right, you're listening
At one
live
point
to
in time,
that
we
press
did have at least
conference.
5
Let's just kind of wrap up what he's talking about. Again, describing this as a chaotic scene because he said the crime scene spread out for 2 to 3 block radius. Again, saying that there are multiple people detained. There's no threat to the public, but from what we can tell you, 3 victims, at least 2 were transported to the hospital. 1 drove themselves to the hospital. But what led up to the shooting at a house party, we really don't know. What was the address, by the way?
I didn't have the
I believe it was
name of the
Ebert.
address. Is it
Ebert Avenue?
Ebert
Yeah,
Avenue,
okay.
This happened around 1 o'clock, though, is what we heard, and it was, again, a very chaotic scene as police showed up, and they did eventually find at least 1 suspect who had taken off, courtesy of K9 and the helicopter as well. Again, as you said, no threat to the public remains.
Yes, and police officers, by the way, recovered multiple firearms as well. So again, what led up to the shooting, we don't know. Eric Pointer is on the scene. He's going to have an update on this momentarily. We'll be right back.